Today we'll learn about linear functions by Jilson Villamora Jr. What is linear function? It is a function that represents a straight line on the coordinate plane. It is an algebraic function. A linear function has one independent variable and one dependent variable. The independent variable is x and the dependent variable is y. There are three forms of linear function. So the first linear function is standard form, where a, b, c are integers, and the standard form is ax plus by equals c. For the second example is the slope-intercept, where m is the slope of the function, y equals mx plus b, where y is the dependent variable and m is the slope, x is the independent variable, and b is the y-intercept. Moving on, the last example is point-slope form, where m is the slope and the points are x sub 1 and y sub 1. For example, y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. I'll repeat the example. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Now on to the next part of the lesson, which is solving for the equation of the linear function. There are two steps on how to solve the equation of the linear function. For example, look for the equation of the linear function that has 2 points, minus 1 and 15 and 2 and 27. Step 1. Find the slope using the slope formula. M equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. We will substitute the given values. M equals 27 minus 15 over 2 minus negative 1. Simplify the equation. M equals 12 over 3. M equals 4. Therefore, the 4 is the slope. I'll repeat the step 1. Find the slope using the slope formula. M equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. We will substitute the given values. M equals 27 minus 15 over 2 minus negative 1. Simplify the equation. M equals 12 over 3 and m equals 4. So that's why the slope is 4. So moving on step 2. Solving for the equation using the point-slope form, write the formula and substitute the value to the equation. Y minus y sub 1 over m times x minus x sub 1. Y minus 15 over 4 times x minus negative 1. Y minus 15 over 4 times x plus 1, y minus 15 over 4x plus 4. Transpose 15 to the other side. Y equals 4x plus 19. Therefore, the equation of linear function is f of x over 4x plus 19. I'll repeat it again. Y minus y sub 1 over m times x minus x sub 1. Y minus 15 over 4 times x minus negative 1. Y minus 15 over 4 times x plus 1. Y minus 15 over 4x plus 4. Transpose 15 to the other side. Y equals 4x plus 19. Therefore, the equation of linear function is f of x equals 4x plus 19. There are also things that you should take note when graphing a linear function. An increasing line when m is greater than 0. A decreasing line when m is lesser than 0. Horizontal line when m equals 0. And these are the things that you should take note when graphing a linear function. So moving on, graph of the linear function. So the first graph, it is increasing because the slope 1/3 is greater than 0. The next one is decreasing because the slope is negative 1/3, which is less than 0. And it is horizontal because the slope is equal to 0. I'll repeat the first graph, second graph, and third graph. So the first graph, it is increasing because the slope 1/3 is greater than 0. And the second graph is decreasing because the slope is negative 1/3, which is less than 0. And the third graph, it is horizontal because the slope is equal to 0. But how do we graph a linear function? Well, there are two ways in graphing a linear function, which are by finding the 2 points, by using its slope and y-intercept. So we've seen the graph, but how do we graph linear functions? There are two ways in graphing linear function. First, finding the 2 points. For example, look for the 2 points of the equation f of x equals 3x plus 5. Step 1. Assume a value for x. Let's say x equal minus 1 and x equal 0. Step 2. Substitute the value of x. Write a table with x and y. If x equal negative 1, then y equals 3x plus 5. Y equals 3 times negative 1 plus 5. Y equals negative 3 plus 5. Y equals 2. If x equals 0, then y 3x plus 5. Y equals 3 times 0 plus 5. Y equals 0 plus 5. Y equals 5. Step 3. Plot it in the graph. And that is the graph of the equation f of x equals 3x plus 5 using slope and intercept. Next is graphing the linear equation using the slope and intercepts. Using the same equation f of x equals 3x plus 5, find the slope and intercepts. Step 1. Plot the y-intercept from the previous solution we solved for the y-intercept. In this step, we will use the 0 on 5. Step 2. Write the slope as a fraction rise over run. Slope equals 3 and y or run equals 1. 3 over 1, that is our rise over run. Step 3. Combine step 1 and step 2. That is the graph of equation of f of x equals 3x plus 5 using the slope and the intercept. As you can see, this is the graph of the equation f of x equals 3x plus 5 using the slope and intercept. Remember, variable, a symbol that shows a quantity in a math expression. Linear function, if each term is either a constant or it is the product of a constant and also the first power of a single variable, then it is called as an algebraic equation. Function, a function is a relation between a set of inputs and a set of permissible outputs. It has a property that each input is related to exactly one output. Steepness, the rate at which a function deviates from a reference. Direction, increasing, decreasing, horizontal, or vertical. And that is all. Unda nasabtan ra ninyo the way I explain the examples kay kabalo jud ko sa akong the way abalo ko sa akong tinabian na mura na graph mong akong gi-repeat ang mga example. So I hope inyong nasabtan. Thank you so much, and fun fact day kay kaning nga subject kay na nilantan ko ani pag-answer. And that's all. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Man that I love sat me down last night and he told me that it's over. Done decision.